Let's pray. We recognize our dependence on you and ask for your help in making this meeting productive. We pray for clear minds, efficient communication, and effective problem solving. Brief moment for your own intentions. I get a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll move to approve.
I get a second, please. Motion and second to approve the agenda. Any discussion to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Opportunity for public comment. Anyone from the public wish to come before us today?
Don, are there mics on? They are.
Mine is. No one from the public wish to come forward. I'm going to close public comment at this time. Register of Deeds reports and updates. Register of Deeds office. Albert. Yep. Commissioner Resort. Oh, okay. Do we have paper agendas? And I think we knew this could be coming. Is that right, Don? There was some. Yeah, I did too. I'm on. I guess I haven't clicked on anything yet, but could you grab a couple more, Jill? Could you get a couple more for us, please? Anyway, there's no one here from the Register of Deeds office. Sheriff's office. You have. Pardon me? Yeah, I guess I got an email from Rhea yesterday saying we're always going to be gone.
Good morning, everyone. Sheriff Pat West. Looking at the actual Sheriff's Office statistics for the month, we continue to be steady from what we were last year on the calls for service. We're right around 1,729 for this month. I think last year we were at 1,734, 84. I can't quite read that. And civil process continues to be a task and a challenge for us, but we are maintaining. That's about the same as what it was last year for the month of May. Month of April was a little bit busier. Overall, just staying steady and busy. One thing I want to note that we did, we're starting to see a little bit of an increase on the jail stuff as far as daily rates. So that's taking into effect at $108 a day. I see we brought in $57,000, some change for that month. Also, Compass Point meals, Caleb did a little bit of research, and we have upped those prices daily to $7.50 a day, which is good. So we're not losing money now. We're trying to maintain on that. So just a few other miscellaneous. Say it again. I think it's just one, Miss Doreen, I believe.
Could you check? They used to do three.
I'll double check that. I'm not really sure on that. So, just some other small admin stuff. We had individual retire from us for 45 years, so we're looking, and we made a replacement for that. We did an internal promotion, and so that individual started on Monday.
Who is that?
By herself. That would be Brooke Schmidt. And she's been with us for a few years. Very excited to be in the position and trained up well. And she's already got the ability to deal with everything else that's within the jail, so that's good. Also, just did a modification on a job with our civil technician, records technician. I adjusted that to make it an administrative coordinator, and a part of that is additional responsibilities to help alleviate the amount of papers that we're dealing with. I'm going to have that person in the office be able to actually serve papers in the office, so we don't have to pull deputies off the street, which is really huge. Also, she is able to coordinate whether papers have been served, if they haven't been served, to get them back to her. If they have been served from walk-ins, she coordinates all of that to make sure they're not double service. Another example on Friday with a holiday, I didn't realize, but I'm learning too, is on the civil stuff, is you can't serve papers on holidays. Yeah, so we had a few people come in and said they wanted to get served, and we told them they had to come back, which is weird, but so I don't know if there's any questions on that, but we're excited for those adjustments, and hopefully it's going to eliminate some of the stress on this civil stuff a little bit, help us with that. So, oh no, I didn't. If you want to do that.
Deborah Bransard, Meade County Human Resource Director. Worked with Pat after Brooke's promotion and replacing our current long-term employee that was in place. The additional cost it's not a promotion, it's an upgrade to the position. For the remaining of this year would be about $1,800. That includes a $1.21 difference in wage, taxes, and SDRS.
So that was cost more or less?
It would cost more. Mm-hmm. So about there's a couple weeks left to this month, so about $1,800. I just figured it for 6 months. It was $1,611. And then just one more thing for Pat, and he is going to figure this into his budget, replacing a single employee covered insurance versus family, and then changing our SDRS from a 6 to an 8% is going to be about an additional $5,078 to that position change. Because it's a CO and it's a 8% SDRS match versus a 6.
And this person that we promoted are expected to do additional duties outside of what the previous employee was doing. So she's able to deal with inmates in the jail, run the front board, also do extractions, do bookings, do things like that to help eliminate the amount of traffic that we have. So if we have additionally, if we have somebody that's sick or on vacation, whatever it might be, this person will be able to fill in with those duties because they're already trained at doing that and certified at that.
So Deborah, the SDRS, we have a different match rate depending on position.
Yes, the coordinator was 6%, and so any office staff is 6%. They're not at 8%.
Okay. They're now at 8%?
No. So the admin assistant was at 6%, and now making that position a senior CO makes it an 8%.
Because it's more of a management position?
Because it's a law enforcement position as a CO, a senior CO.
Okay, so law enforcement positions get a higher match?
They do.
They get 8. Everybody else gets 6.
Yeah. Including communications at 6%. So just wanted to make sure it was a good decision, and I think Brooke has been here nearly 3 years this year, and so she has a good foundation and is able to step in. And so I just wanted to point out the big cost difference wasn't necessarily in wage, it was in benefits and then the change in SDRS.
Yeah, very excited for her to be there because of the amount of knowledge that she has and able to, again, do other duties. So.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Sheriff West. State's Attorney's Office.
Ken Clubber, Deputy State's Attorney. Just letting the board know, Michelle is doing magistrate court on Tuesday mornings because of our shortage of an attorney. Don't know how long that may last. If you have an item for the State's Attorney, let us know on Friday, Monday, so we can switch around who's going to be here and who's going to cover court. So that's all the update I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Treasurer's Office.
Good morning, Robin Shrike, Meade County Treasurer. In front of you is the KPI for May. Within the last month, since the end of May, we have been seeing an influx of a lot of ATV permits coming in to the treasurer's office. Everybody's planning their weekend vacation or getting ready for the rally so they can use their off-road permits on the highway. So we have been doing a lot of those lately. We continue to get in a lot of out-of-state titles. We're probably averaging a dozen out-of-state titles a day that we're processing.
We're one of the only counties that does the ATV permits.
Oh, everybody does have the ability to do them. We just happen to be blessed having the hills out here that a lot of people are using it. And we try to be accommodating for that. Also extending, like if somebody is coming in over a weekend, if I'm in town, I'll come down and get them their permit. If they need to pick it up, because the mail, unfortunately, is not, cooperating with them on that. So if somebody does need to get their permit Saturday morning because they're heading out in the hills, I'll make arrangements to get it to them.
There is a fee for that now.
Yes. Yeah, we get $25 of the $50 fee.
Well, it seems like about every third vehicle I see is one.
Isn't that the truth? Yes.
Okay, any other questions for the treasurer? It looks like you have a consideration of the office hours on the agenda as well.
Yes.
And I'm reading this to just keep it going the same as you have currently. Is that correct?
Yes, I would greatly appreciate that. It does help us out. By shutting down at 4:30, we're able to catch up on phone calls, because please know that phones are ringing nonstop down there. We have to take messages, and the only time that we can usually get back to them is after 4:30 when it's calm, when we have the windows down where we can focus in on that. So we spend approximately 15 to 20 minutes just calling back people and then finishing up any mail that we may not have gotten to, because every day that mail is done, we have everything processed, let alone balancing. So that does happen.
I think there was, obviously, when we've done this twice now.
Yes.
Is it, I think at the first month or so afterwards, you had some people that didn't realize it. How has it been with the public? Is everyone just getting used to it?
Yes, everybody is getting used to it. Thank you for asking that. And then also, Google, we can't change those times. There's something on there, because I have asked Tony, can we get Google to change those hours? And he says something with them. But yeah, on our website it still shows, or not on our website, I should say, the Google site says that we close at 5, but we have the signs up that.
Do you have any other idea when the state's going to get this stuff in line to where it's going to be back to normal? Or
I don't, unfortunately. We're still uploading stuff. We started that on June 1st, uploading all of our titles. They are still working on titles from March.
Sure. Because I was going to ask if it's appropriate, and it probably is. I think Commissioner Wysorick said it's good to set a timeline on these things, and I didn't know if it's something that's going to just be ongoing, if we want to just change it or just set it to the first year, but I guess that's up to the commission. It sounds like we need to do something. We need to continue this, it sounds like to me. I have a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion to continue till the end of the year.
Motion is second on the floor to continue the current office hours, the treasurer's office, to the public to the end of the year. Any discussion of that motion? None, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. So,
Thank you for your consideration on that. I greatly appreciate it.
Let's go. I'm going to skip. Don, would you like to introduce? No, we'll cut this so I don't do the whole auditor report, but Don would like to make an introduction.
Morning, Commissioners. Dawn Christensen, Auditor. I wanted to introduce our newest employee, Chief Deputy Auditor Teresa Curran, who brings with her a lot of government and accounting experience, and she has been a great addition to our team.
Hi, I'm Teresa Curran. I worked for the County of Crook County for almost 20 years. 8 years of that being at the County Assessor's Office, or for South Dakota, they call it the Department of Equalization. So And then the last 3 years I've been working as the clerk treasurer for the city of Sundance. So I really enjoy the girls down there. They're very detail oriented. They any job that needs to be done, everybody seems to just jump right in there, and it's amazing to work with them. So
You're also supposed to recognize your liaison of every department is how wonderful your liaison is when
Listen to him.
when you come up here.
I didn't know Doreen's, that's Doreen's department, huh?
No.
But I was very excited when I heard Teresa's resume had come to the HR office. I thought, our kind of gal. Welcome. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
joined us.
We usually ask if you got any hobbies or something that maybe people don't know about you, if you'd like to add, if you'd care to.
Sure, you bet. I guess I love to travel. I was a student missionary for little over a year in the Marshall Islands, and I've been to Guam and Palau for doing that same.
Wow.
Wow.
I just love to travel. I've been to Venezuela, Australia, all that great stuff.
Wonderful. Well, welcome aboard. And
Thank you very
you've
much.
been here for about a month now, and so you've been a good addition to a great team. So thank you.
She started and jumped in right before the election, the week before the election.
I got a stamp from Canada.
Oh, you did?
Yes. I made him give it to me after they searched my car since I had a weapon on me. Pepper spray.
Oh.
That's it. I said, well, they said, we don't punch a card for Canada. I said, well, I had to get this passport to come here, so you're going to punch it.
That's great. Thanks, Teresa, for coming up today. Welcome aboard. Let's go to highway now.
Good morning, Commission. Troy Eastman, I'm the Highway Superintendent. After reviewing the bids that we received at the last meeting, we found some incomplete bid items that were part of the notice to bid that was submitted by 63 Industries. So we're rejecting that bid, and then we would like to award Western Construction. They had bid bond prohibited entity status, and their price is at $7.25 per ton.
Okay, so these bids were approved last time. Is that correct?
They were open.
Opened, yep.
They were open last time. We didn't approve them. So your recommendation would be for us to reject the 63, to accept the Western Construction is what
Yes.
basically is what.
What's the grounds for rejection?
There's incomplete information here. They didn't have the prohibited entity status provided, and the dates were all wrong on here. Like I don't know exactly what may have happened with their bid, but it has the wrong location for where we are asking to be crushed, and the dates were not correct as far as when they had it submitted and signed and everything about it. It's like, I don't know, there's some sort of mistake.
So I don't know what you mean by the dates were wrong, meaning that the signature dates were outside the scope of the bid time?
Date on it.
April 2023. It's very unusual.
On my review, it almost looked like they pulled an old one and just sent that in. Like Troy indicated, the location was wrong, prohibited status wasn't there, and the signature was dated in 2023.
All right, so I think it's important if we're going to reject bids in the future that put that detail even on under, because I think if we're going to reject it, we should set forth the ground.
Okay?
So, rather than just reject.
Yeah, and the record does need to show when you reject the lowest bid, the reason why.
Okay.
And it's got to be in the minutes.
Was, yeah. Okay. Any other questions? And Ken, does it have to be rejected, or can you just? I mean, obviously, we're just.
You have to reject because it's the lowest bid.
Okay.
Because it's the lowest.
I understand. Yep. Certainly. Thank you. Yep. Okay. So we're going to need two motions on this. Would we one to reject the 63 Industries bid?
I'll make a motion to reject the 63 bid because it failed to include the no prohibitive entity disclosure information. It provided crushing at the wrong location, and it's dated in 2023 and not this year.
I'll second.
Get that, Don? Could you repeat that, please?
What is the wording for the disclosure information? What's the correct wording for the disclosure information?
I'm sorry.
The prohibitive entity.
Motion to reject the 63 Industries bid, which failed to include the prohibited entity disclosure information. It provided crushing at the wrong location, and it was dated in 2023, not this year.
That work? Okay, got a motion and a second to reject the 63 Industries bid. Any discussion to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We need a motion to accept the Western Construction bid.
I'll move to accept Western Construction's gravel crushing at $7.25.
And you want to include the 580,000 total? Or is that irrelevant?
That's it.
So they could go up to.
Because you might not even spend that much.
Based on the price.
But you need a total.
We have a budgeted total.
Okay. So yeah, so that they can't go up to the 700. They could go up to 700,000 at the 7.25.
Yeah, it's the price per ton. That is what 580, or if it's 583. I don't.
That's why I asked if you want to include the 580. Okay, I'm fine. We have a second.
Second.
Motion and a second on the floor to accept Western Construction's bid. Any discussion to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next is the Haynes Avenue Reconstruction Progress Report.
Yeah, last week the cement stabilization portion of the project was completed, or at least mostly completed. They were doing some testing and this and that. There may be some rework in some small areas, but all in all, it turned out pretty well. Definitely made a big difference compared to what was there. You know, before and after, it was, you know, night and day, and honestly, it's a very simple process too. So there's some pictures here that we put. There's the asphalt patching. This would be on the far south end, and these are all just the bottom lift of the patch, and then they will eventually pave over everything so it's all one continuous mat of asphalt. Here, this is part of the cement stabilization process. So on the left was what was there, and then they basically grind it all up, inject water, and then the cement powder that's all been measured out ahead of that machine that you see, and it gets mixed in there, and then they just follow it up with sheep's foot roller and motor grader and another smooth face roller. And they test it right after that. So we had Swan on site as well as HDR all watching the process to make sure the quality control was what we were looking for. There you can see the cement powder, how they basically lay a windrow of that, and then they follow it up with the reclaimer.
Any questions on that project?
So Troy, there was a fairly intense downburst out in that area yesterday. So I don't know what we have for owner's rep on that project, or have an engineer down there looking at it down to make sure there was no water issues that need to be.
Okay.
But yeah, it hit pretty hard, not for a long time, but it poured hard. And it washed out areas where there's definite runoff issues and erosion, gravel roads where there was any.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely check it out. There's a couple soft spots we need to address where the asphalt patching is anyway, that we've had trouble even when it was dry to get it solid. So I definitely need to go down there and take a look.
Okay, thank you. A couple other things on that. It is northbound traffic only. There's no southbound traffic, so it's a big loop. I know Pat's been helpful with trying to help keep the traffic going the right way. Don't go southbound. There's a reason for that. There's kind of, for everybody's knowledge, I guess, the base and sub-base underneath that road is in changes throughout. And then I think during patching, we probably found maybe every type of material there is. There's fabric and mesh and all of the things. So the patches that we've been putting in for 20 years, some were holding, some weren't. The technology's changed, and as they dig them out, they're finding some interesting things. So there's likely going to be some changes, as we going forward. I think did you look at the underdrain on a portion as well?
Yes.
And we did that on Elk Vale. We did not put an underdrain until after the project was completed, and I think that was like a $150,000 fix. I think Troy's been working on this one, and hopefully it's not that. It should be a lot smaller fix. There's some changes coming, but yeah, I think it's going well. And do you have an update on a schedule when that might be?
I do not have an updated schedule at this point. I mean, they should be done well within the completion date that we have in the bid, but I don't know exactly what day that will be done.
Seems like if the cement stabilization's done, they'll put base back on, and then asphalt on top of that, and then it's an overlay across the entire project. It should be a continuous pour as soon as they get to that. So I'm going to say a couple weeks or a month maybe.
Yep. No, it should go fast from this point. It's just the patching is really the only, kind of hiccups that we're having right at the moment, just because those soft spots. But it's better that we're addressing them. Each one has been unique. Some of the stuff that we've called out in the plans did not work, so they've had to redo it. And that's where we're just trying to find a solution to this one area right at the moment. But otherwise, everything's going pretty good. Like you said, there's a couple changes that we have to do with the underdrain, and then also on the north end, because of our original planned quantity for patching, we were very close, if not under that number. So I asked if we could include that intersection up on the north end there, because it looks like it's been put together at 3 different times or something like that. It's not very smooth, and it's rough, and it holds water, and it'd be the worst part of the entire road if we didn't do it. So that's one of the things that I was talking to the engineer about, and just to see what that number is going to be. I haven't got that yet, but we're looking at that too.
Would that be an apron of asphalt going on Elk Creek?
Yeah, it does extend. I believe there was a number for all of those approaches and stuff like that does extend it, in each one of those directions. I think it was 5 foot, but yes, at least that far, if not further.
You might look at like 50 feet. I think that's a bus stop right there.
Okay.
So a lot of traffic in the morning stops on that. But
yeah, and it'll help not drag, dirt and gravel or whatever out onto the paved surface the longer we go. So I agree with that.
Any questions for Troy on this? Not, let's move down to the Rolling Dice Road District cost sharing agreement. I think there was we missed something last time on the we approved this resolution last time.
I can take this one. So I had Rhea put the resolution on board docs, and it was my error. I did not review that document when it was put on there, as well as I should have. There was a couple word changes. It was the original one that was posted, not the one that we wanted to have added. So I'll take the blame on this one. Harry, the road district, he brought it up to my attention and said that wasn't the one that we discussed. We talked about it, obviously in the meeting. So the resolution and the one that we we approved last time is incorrect. This one that's shown is the correct one. I've looked at it, Gary's looked at it, and talked to our Gary here.
So we will essentially, Ken, would you come forward and just the procedure process of this? It's the same resolution, 2026-13, I assume, that we approved. So we're going to have to replace 26, do we have to call this 2026-13A and replace 2026-13 with it?
I think if your motion is to revoke the resolution 2026-13, pass at such and such a meeting as one motion, and then adopt this resolution 2026-13.
So we'd probably need two.
It's ready to sign as written as 2026-13, so I think that accomplishes what you need.
Sure. Okay, so we'd have to revoke it first and then pass it.
Yes, because this doesn't say in its body that it replaces.
That's what I thought, but I just.
It could have, but it did not.
Clarified. Okay. So if there's no issue with that, if I get a motion to that effect.
The date on that
What was
9th.
June 9th?
Make a motion to revoke the resolution passed on June 9th, 2026-13.
Motion is second on the floor to revoke resolution 2026-13, which was passed on June 9th, 2026. Any discussion to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026-13 as presented today's meeting.
Second.
Motion is second on the floor to approve resolution 2026-13 presented in today's meeting. Any discussion to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
My apologies to the auditor, staff, and to Rita.
I'm sorry, it's not good enough. Okay. Let's move down to facility. Any other questions for highway? Thanks, Troy.
Yep, thank you.
Let's go down to facilities.
Good morning, Commission. Ben Petrocco, Meade County Facilities Director here, and I would like to propose a slight staffing change to our facilities team. I would like to request approval of the Commission to move part-time facilities building service worker Clint Jandrew to a full-time position. He's currently part-time. This would allow our department to have better coverage in the event we have another team member sick or absent, as well as allowing us to take on more team projects such as carpet cleaning, floor waxing, and still being able to keep up on the daily tasks. I feel with the amount of square footage our team covers between all 4 buildings that we do need 3 full-time staff members to keep up.
Unfortunately, your liaison's not here today. Have you discussed with Commissioner Severn?
Yeah, I did have a discussion with Earl about it, and he was in support of the idea.
Ben, do you have enough budget to absorb it this year?
I think we would have to add some for after the numbers that Deborah showed me. Looks like we would be short, for this 6 months for this year. We would have to add about $36,000, I think.
Is that just the salary, or is that
That's
benefits?
including the benefits also for 6 months for this year.
So what would that total? What is the total of that position now? How many dollars an hour is it?
Of the part-time or the full-time?
Of both. Your mic on, I think.
I'm so sorry. Currently, the full-time position pays $20.59. That would be a 99-cent increase in pay.
Okay, so you just said, so currently the full-time position is what you just said, correct? So it's $20 and what, 59?
59 cents.
And so then the part, you said 90 cents increase, so it'd be...
Right, the part-time position currently pays 99 cents less.
So
So we'd have I'm sorry.
$19.60. Is that my math
Yes,
right?
mhm.
Okay. Yep.
Well, I would assume the main difference in price is the insurance. And
It
the
is
benefit.
insurance. It's the biggest cost is insurance. So if you basically with the part timer right now makes about $21,700 a year without taxes, just wage, and to add another 6 months would be $21,413. And
Okay. So the insurance was included in that $20.50?
no, I'm
No.
trying to explain that. 21,413 would be the additional in wages. That'd be 1,040 hours times the 2059. The taxes would be an additional $4,704. Insurance for this individual that would most likely be moved from part-time to full-time would be an additional $9,376 to cover for insurance. And then they would also be adding SDRS, which would be $1,285. That giving us a increase of $36,779.
Ben, you mentioned this is for coverage. I mean, essentially you have 2 full-time people in your staff, or you and
Well, no, this is the facilities, building service workers that I have 2.5 of.
you said that it's for the 4 buildings, but really it's for all of our county buildings, so highway shops and all of those things.
They don't do anything at the highway shops. No, it's
You
just
do, right?
just on campus, yeah.
Those are things that you take care of and
Right, myself and 2 other staff members.
Thank you.
Right now, we do have one of our facilities staff members that is trying to supplement some of the custodial work as well. And this time of year, especially when we got the outdoor stuff going on, it's really hard for him to keep up on that if he's still doing some of the custodial as well. That would kind of help our department that way also.
Still asking questions.
No,
I didn't mean to interrupt you. So he's currently on 20 hours a week, or does he work 40 through the summer?
He's actually been having to work more than that recently because we've had a staff member gone for a month.
Sure.
So
A month?
that's when we really notice these kind of crunches when we have a longer term.
So he's there and you're getting covered now. Is that correct? What I'm asking is if I don't think I'm opposed to this, but I guess I'd kind of like to take a week or so to look over these numbers a little bit closer and maybe have it on the agenda next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, so Ben, one of the questions that would be helpful is whether you're going to need the full 36 or whether you have other areas in your budget where you think you've got some of the cash to kind of offset it would be helpful in doing this analysis. Something that you thought you were going to buy this year. So we kind of get a better idea of what the whole number is.
Just looking over the budget, I would think we'd be able to absorb some of that for sure.
Yeah, but I want you to take the time to look over it because I want you to throw a number out and then all of a sudden you'd be jammed.
Well, and that's the problem with my budget. It's hard to tell what kind of breakdowns we're going to have in different areas and stuff. I mean, it can go from looking good to bad in a hurry.
Yeah, as much as this year, I'm already thinking next year budget too. So I mean, like I said, I think this makes sense, but we're doing this properly. I appreciate you coming forward to it and having this discussion, but I would personally prefer to agenda this next time and get these numbers emailed to us and kind of go over what it's going to cost, total cost for next year. And I mean, it's easy to look at a half salary, and this year it's
right.
But then we got to consider. I mean, you're going to need the budget next year, obviously.
Right.
So, and we can discuss this and next time is what I would prefer.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to this either, and but I kind of agree. I think
And that was my main question. That's why I asked if you're covering your shifts you're getting covered. your help is getting covered right now. I mean, it's not like an emergency, right? I understand this. You're bringing this forward because you need it and want it, but
Yeah.
but you're
Well, we are back to full staff now. That the one that was gone is back, so we're just trying to get caught back up on a few
And
things.
he's able to, that was my question though, he's able to work the hours that you'd need to kind of help get caught up, correct?
Yes, yeah, Clint
Even if we
stepped
keep
up
it,
a little
even if
more.
we keep it the same today until next week, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so it's really not out anything if
It's
we...
not something that has to be decided right this
that's
minute.
why I asked, that's why I was asking that question, if we'd take a look at it next meeting.
Well, we used to have 3, didn't we?
Yeah, we always had 3, and then on top of that, we actually had kind of another member on our side, on the maintenance type side as well. You know,
Right.
Kevin, and then myself, and then we had 2 others. So it's definitely gotten kind of spread kind of thin, in my opinion, on some of the coverage that we have. And then, you know, people, as they accrue more time off, as they're here longer, they're gone more.
Sure.
Right.
Okay, well, if you can make sure it gets on the agenda, and I'll try to make sure it gets on there as well next time, and if you can think of some other numbers that might be helpful for us to make a decision, I'd appreciate it too.
Okay.
Yep. Thanks, Ben.
Ben, you might add the number of square footage on that, because I think it would probably be surprising
Right.
to know the number of square feet, or approximate.
Right. Yep. All right, thanks, Ben. Auditor report.
Good morning, Dawn Christensen, auditor. The May numbers are there for you to view. Voter registration updates, total of 397 in May. And again, our biggest ongoing project is elections. The 2026 governor runoff election will be on July 28th. The voter registration deadline for that election is July 13th. July 21st at 9 o'clock in the auditor's office will be the public tabulator test. And July 27th is the last day to absentee vote in our office. Next agenda item is the overtime report. There are some slight differences in this compared to the previous ones. When Teresa did this for the first time, she found some discrepancies, and some of the numbers actually went down slightly.
Any questions on the overtime report? Not, let's move on to the 2026 primary and post-election audit.
The post-election audit was held on June 18th. Post-election audits are about confidence, and we continue to have confidence in our election integrity and processes because the post-election audit hand count matched the tabulator results 100%.
Is that, and did we have a certain amount required by statute that you have to audit? You guys actually did an extra one? Is that my understanding?
We have to audit 5% of our precincts, which ends up being 3 precincts out of the 41, and we have to do 2 races, with one of those races being a statewide race. The statewide race that was audited was the governor's race. With the other race was the delegate to state convention, and then we did an additional race, which was the precinct committee woman in West Blackhawk 16.
And by chance with the delegate at large one getting drawn, that required you to do 100% of the precincts, correct?
We just had to do 3 precincts.
You just had to do 3 precincts from there. Any questions on the post-election audit? Sounds like it all went well. And Secretary of State was here that day as well?
Secretary of State Monet Johnson was here, and we had 2 boards that conducted the election, and it went well.
Any questions on that? A real good, real successful election. I commend your office and staff down there. You did a really good job. You guys worked really hard. There's no doubt about that.
And I don't doubt at all the accuracy.
I agree. Okay, let's move down to the gubernatorial runoff election polling location change.
For the runoff election on July 28th, the Sturgis Community Center has prior commitments, so we are not able to use that location as a polling location. The precincts that are affected are listed in board docs. We are requesting approval of Resolution 2026-16 to change the polling location to the Sturgis Brown High School. I do want to note that the codified law listed in the resolution needs to be changed to 12-14-15.
12 what?
12-14-15, which allows the auditor to recommend a new polling place when the designated polling place becomes unable to use.
And I do think the unavailability because of commitments to the rally make it physically unusable as a polling place. We won't have the space either for parking or to conduct the election there.
I guess question on this resolution then, since it's that statute allows the auditor to, that's just recommendation, the resolution still needs to be passed?
Yeah, the general process is at a particular period of time prior to the first notice of election, the commissioners establish the precincts and the polling places. After that, it can only be changed under the statute if it becomes destroyed or becomes otherwise physically unable or unusable as a polling place. And that has to be by resolution of the commissioners.
So then, in other words, we'll more than likely have to take action to change it back then.
Correct. That's the anticipation.
The next election, okay.
Correct, then?
Correct.
This is in plenty of time to pass the resolution, publish the minutes, and become effective 20 days after publication.
Sure. And regardless, we have to do it.
Yep.
This will require a motion to pass Resolution 2026-16.
I'll make a motion to pass Resolution 2026-16 with the change of SECL from 12-14-53 to 12-14-15.
Second.
Motion second on the floor to pass Resolution 2026-16 with the changes to the statute in the last whereas. Any discussion to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. And I would recommend, obviously, putting it out on all of our social media and website, but we might work with probably Black Hills Pioneer or somebody to get some article, something out so people know that we're changing locations. Doreen, maybe you can help with that as far as getting word out around. It's going to affect Sturgis right around here as well.
And it's also required to be posted at the community center on the day of the election.
I understand.
But
it's gonna,
yes, Don's plan, as we discussed, was to get it out as far as and as broadly as we can.
Let people hopefully know, because I'm sure some people will. Rapid City School District had that last time, and we just got to do all we can to get the word out. Okay, permit to use school facilities, number.
So with the passage of that resolution, we have a permit to use the school facilities as a polling location. And RIA did reach out to the insurance company, and we do have what is required for the number 6 on the permit.
Ken, you've looked this document over?
I have had no issues. It's their standard form for regardless of what organization is using it.
So this is just allowing us to...
It's fine to sign and proceed.
Make a motion to approve the permit.
Second.
Motion is second on the floor to approve and have the chairman sign the permit to use school facilities. Any discussion to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Any other questions for the auditor? Not, let's move down to commission, communicated commission, H1. Mainly just updates in here. Questions or comments on that? Not, let's move down to H2, which is appointment of applicant agents, which is we passed the resolution April, essentially allowing Rhea and Sean to be signers. Is that correct? Is that my understanding? Is that correct, Ken?
I wasn't involved in it, but yes, that appears, it's just a necessary step. They've got to have someone designated in different places.
So we just need to make an appointment of agents. So
It's just who signs
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
Right.
So they're allowed to sign any document that comes from the Black Hills Council local government.
Correct.
Right.
So any questions, comments, and/or action on this?
I move adoption of naming Rhea Crane and John Henderson as signers
So if that
for Black
motion,
Hills Council.
if that motion could be to approve Resolution 2026-17, that would cover that. Is that correct, Ken?
I'll second.
Motion and second to approve Resolution 2026-17. Any discussion to that motion?
Yeah, so I'll be recused on this.
If the Secretary take note that Commissioner Wojciech is going to recuse himself from this. A motion and second on the floor to pass Resolution 2026-17. Any more discussion to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Let's go down to H3, Commission reports and updates. Anybody from the Commission like to report or update anything?
So only thing I've got is on the highway side. We did award essentially the Odyssey for both New Underwood Road and for Elk Vale Road. Those are in the works. The traffic control signs are laid out, and I believe that the start date, I think, was the 9th, right? That they would start. So there is work going on out there, and we had a discussion this morning about fixing some holes that are on New Underwood, so still work going on in those.
Now, Game Fish and Parks is paying for part of that, correct?
That is correct, yeah.
Yeah.
They are paying for they paid for the gravel, the base stabilization, and the Odyssey project as well.
I think it's important that we put that in our minutes because we still get questions about that.
So essentially, is it they're paying for all the material,
I believe that's the case. It's all material, correct?
and we furnish the labor and equipment, and they furnish the material?
And do we have an estimate on how much they're paying us?
400, somewhere around. We had an agreement with them in 2025, I believe. We did an agreement.
Oh, I know, but I remember it and you remember it, but
That's why
99% of the public won't. Okay.
it was an approved agreement through the commission. Game Fish and Parks.
Okay, are there any more updates from the Commission? Seeing none, include that. Let's take about a 5-minute break. We're not quite 10 o'clock. 5:10. to order. Brings us to our 10 o'clock scheduled hearing items. I'm going to do this. I'd like to open this up to public comment right away. If there's any proponents to this, is in regards to this is the first reading of Meade County Ordinance 60, which county's gross receipts tax, which will this allows Meade County to implement a 0.5% sales tax, which would go into effect the first of the year. It says the first reading. We'll have to have 2 readings. We'll have to pass 2 readings. So I'm going to open this up to public comment first. Is there any proponents to us doing this? Anybody that would be in favor of Meade County implementing this tax? Not seeing anyone come forward. Is there any opponents to this? Seeing any opponents to this? I'm going to close public testimony at this time, and we'll leave this up to Commissioner comments, questions.
Jill is down there. She is just got us some copies of some information that Chris brought us from Pier.
You're okay. You don't need to. We're fine.
Thank you.
Be sure and give Ken a copy.
The table needs one, for sure.
Yeah.
If there's one extra,
Yeah,
that's great.
make one available to the public as well.
In summary, what was handed out is data from every county. The Meade numbers on a quick read is consistent with what we've been estimating our numbers from.
It is. However, the 3.9 is different than where did the 3.9, the estimated 0.5 cent? Because I've been coming up with 1.8 this whole time. Half a percent of 360 million is like 1.8 million, but this shows the estimated 0.5% sales tax would generate 3.9. I guess that's my question.
So, I guess you have to look. I mean, there's a use tax aspect too.
I think the primary difference is going to be they've got an urban and a rural numbers, and I think that about doubles what we were working on from Department of Revenue figures.
The 360 is the same, and that's the taxable sales. So is that use tax only applies to what doesn't get collected on sales tax? So,
and I don't know if
I guess I'm taking the 360 as the total number of taxable sales. Chris, if you'd like to come forward, you're welcome. Do you have an explanation of that? I don't know where 3.9 comes from.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Turn on
microphone,
your mic,
please.
Good morning, Chris Jacobson. I serve as Executive Director for the South Dakota Association of Counties. And I cannot tell you where the Department of Revenue and the Bureau of Finance and Management pulled these figures. I can tell you that I believe that they estimated what would be happening outside of the county, and these are purely estimated figures that they had distributed.
Sure. My math says 5% of 360 million is 1.8 million. So I don't know what they're saying the estimated 0.5 is 3.9. So regardless, that's
a bulk. The whole packet.
Well, 1.8 and 3.9 is significantly different.
It is, yes.
So it's not even in the ballpark, I guess.
Okay, well, my apologies. I know that they were.
But no, I don't mean to question. I appreciate you bringing this information.
Yeah, they're adding.
Oh, that's what they sent to you
urban
recently?
rural together and taking the 0.5 times.
Okay. I didn't know that they had sent specific figures.
We requested some specific figures.
Urban and rural
not that it was out there elsewhere. And again, there's the urban and the rural on the data from the South Dakota counties, and I don't know what the urban means.
Okay, so it'll be essential we know the actual number, because the way I understood it from DOR, it was about 300. Number I had in my head was 372 million is what we had from DOR. This 360 is ballpark. I'm not arguing that, and that was 25. 372 is 25, and this is 2024. I see, but what is the actual? Then that's concerning a little bit. So what is the actual sales? It's not necessarily relevant as to whether we pass this today or not, but at the same time,
it's relevant to the policy consideration of whether it should or shouldn't be adopted.
Yes.
Well, I would assume the urban means within a municipality.
Well, I understand that, but from the DOR number we've been working with, the number that I've seen said total taxable sales.
Correct.
So total taxable sales within the county, I took that to mean all taxable sales within county, urban and rural.
There was taxable sales, there was a use tax column, and adding those together was 372,000.
Yes, 372 million.
Yeah, million, yes.
But that was, I took that 372 million to mean all taxable sales within the county, whether it was urban or rural.
Correct.
So, and this sheet that we just put before us is saying something different.
Correct. It is giving us another number that I can't verify where it comes from.
Okay, so we need to figure the numbers out, but the question I have on this is the resolution itself.
I just point out, the process is DOR collects. They collect what we're supposed to get, and they forward it to us subject to a small administrative fee. It's all an estimate of what's going to come in. It changes year to year as the state budget reflects. Sometimes there's extra, sometimes there's shortfalls from what they project.
I understand. And 1.8, I mean, either way, there's significant numbers. 1.8 represents about 25% of sales, or 25% of our owner-occupied, not levy, our owner-occupied what we tax. And 3.9 would obviously be, that would be almost 100%, or not, it wouldn't, yeah, it'd be over 50% of what we tax on owner-occupied. So either number is significant, but they're significantly different, so I'd kind of like to figure out what number is right. But the question I have is, and I understand this resolution is put together by the state?
For the most part, yes. There's two paragraphs that were not included in the proposed or sample ordinance that was prepared by the Department of Revenue.
Okay, but my question then is, the first sentence is a little concerning to me because the purpose of this ordinance is to provide additional needed revenue. It doesn't necessarily provide revenue to the county, and I don't really want it to getting out that this is revenue for the county. This is going to provide a tax break.
And there's no magic here.
I understand, but I mean, that's a concerning statement, though. I don't think it's probably, we want the public thinking this is additional revenue for the county. And then the other one in the same section 1 is the purpose of the county gross receipts tax is to provide property tax relief on the county property tax levy. The levy statement, in my opinion, is incorrect because it doesn't do anything with the levy. It is to provide property tax relief. If the first statement is true, the purpose of the county gross receipts tax is to provide property tax relief. That's accurate.
The statute as adopted does make reference specifically to the levy.
But what does it do to the levy? I've seen that statement.
What has to be done at the end of the day is the levy for all property starts the same. So we go through the assessment process. What's the budget? That's the need. We generate that by the assessed value times the levy. So we calculate the levy for all properties. Then we take the amount that's received from this county sales tax, reduce what would otherwise be paid by owner-occupied by that amount, and then recalculate the levy. And on our tax bill, you will get a line that says, here's your tax bill at the original levy, less discount. I'm not sure what the language is because DOR doesn't know yet either. It'll be a savings line and then the amount you pay line. And it is actually by the stat. I thought it was just reducing the bill. In fact, it's reducing the levy specifically.
So it would take the. Okay, I can see that now. Yeah. But because I thought it was just reducing the bill simply.
No. Okay, no. If we were going to generate $8 million from owner-occupied taxes levies, then we're going to reduce the levy. Everybody pays in because the money received in this fund will pay
Fair enough. So the
reduced portion when I pay my bill.
So the levy statement within this statement is fair and accurate.
It is accurate,
okay.
Yes.
And then Section 3, which implies the use tax, I understand what it's doing here, but the use tax is only, and maybe it's not, but the question I would have is, would it be necessary, this statement, the use tax is only going to take effect if there's no sales tax generated. That's how it always is. But so is it necessary for that statement, or because the way I read this statement, it adds a use tax and a sales tax, or am I reading that wrong from either one of the attorneys that are up here?
It provides you that you can collect it in the use tax too. Use tax is just a replacement of sales tax for stuff that
Ag is a good example.
So those use tax and sales tax match. Tax where the tax falls is different.
And they follow exactly what the state collects.
But in use taxes, for example, ag is exempt from a lot of sales tax, but you're still required to pay a use tax on that. But so the use tax only comes in effect in statute if the sales tax is not getting paid. Is that
correct? You don't pay both.
You don't.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So
and not everything that you transact is subject to either sales or use.
So that's what my question was. Is it's not allowing the county to just add that on?
Correct.
Okay. And I don't even know how to do this, but the other question I have, and I don't know if maybe it's not a concern to anybody but mine, but it's interesting. This document limits the administrative fees the county can collect, but it doesn't put a limit on what the state can collect.
There is a limit on what the state can collect. It's by administrative rule, and it's pretty small as to what they're collecting from each county.
Well, they're just going to apply their same fee.
I thought it was
they already
like
collect.
Yeah. When they're collecting for a municipality,
It's the same
they
fee.
withhold an administrative fee for what they send to the municipality. It's the same.
So that's covered in statute.
Yes.
Okay.
And the $20,000 the first year is reflected as it's expected to be higher than it will be in future years because of software changes that they're still working on.
I guess that takes care of my questions, but yeah, my concern still lies with that revenue. I think that should be struck in that first sentence.
And you were referencing sections 6 and 7. Those were added to the draft model that was prepared by the Department of Revenue just for transparency purposes, so that the public knows that not everything that's being generated by the 0.5-cent sales tax or 0.5% sales tax is going to go directly to the fund. There is some administrative expenses that will come out of it, but relatively small, very small. 20,000 versus 1.8 is a lot.
Is there any other questions, comments?
So, this was the DOR form. We've added 2 sections. The
Yes.
Department can you send our changes to DOR, make sure that they don't see any issues?
I have not.
Can you before second
Yes,
reading?
I
Question.
was having discussions with my usual crew, Pennington County and Lawrence County State's Attorney's Office. Pennington County added the administrative at the state level, and I added the administrative at the county level. They're both statutory, but I will run it by them.
I appreciate you're just trying to tell people this is how this is going to work.
Yeah.
But I don't want DOR saying that they see some technicality because of the lead time and have to do,
Before second read, it'll be
Right.
I'll run it by Howdy Shell probably.
Yeah, and then I think even if Gary has some clarifications on that first sentence, where it probably should just say the purpose of this ordinance to provide revenue for Meade County by imposing a
Well,
I
I'd
agree.
like to leave
It's
the word
worded
revenue
badly.
out. It'd be the purpose of this ordinance would be to allow Meade County to impose the county gross receipts tax.
Yep. I would prefer that be run, any of those proposed edits that the chair might like to see that DOR would bless those ahead of time.
Yep.
There's no sense passing an ordinance that DOR then will say is invalid.
Yep.
No, but you need to talk louder.
And I love what DOR frequently does is check with your state's attorney on that. but
Yeah,
I'll run it up the hill.
Yeah, but in this one, they're actually pushing out proposed forms, and they're the ones that, because of the way this works, is they have to approve it to impose it. So I would think they would go a little further on this one, but.
And on the item itself is the proposed timeline. You know, this is the first read. We have to wait at least 5 days for the second read. We cannot pass this before July 1.
And
it won't be passed before July 1.
And this timeline is just to give us as well as the public an idea of how this is going to take place.
Right. And the sales tax cannot be imposed except July 1 or January 1 of any given year. That's just Department of Revenue, that's their policy, that's what their computer will do. So the timeline here is for it to be implemented to start collecting January 1 of 2027.
And
that could change.
And when we say start collecting, it means start collecting. So therefore, any relief from property taxes more than likely wouldn't occur until 28.
Correct. The money has to be generated in 2027.
So,
the end of 27, we'll know what the offset money is. Levies get calculated January? Gone? November?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we'll know the number and can make the adjustment prior to running the tax bills. And that's the deadline that we have to have.
Yes.
Because the tax bills have to go out on a certain date, March 1, I think it is. I'm sorry?
January.
Oh, it might not even be.
They have to go out in January
Turn your mic
because
on, please,
they
Tom.
have to go out in January because the appeals happen in March.
Okay. I just didn't have the specific date because I'm never involved in the mechanics. So we will have an opportunity to make the adjustment prior to bills going out. And they will pay us, I think it's every 2 weeks they send out checks from revenue.
We'd have to have a full year, though, of collecting this, though.
They don't have to. You know, if for some reason we don't start collecting till July 1, if it's referred and we don't get the election in time to give the 90 days notice, if it's starting to collect in July 1, it will be a smaller reduction, but we could still deduct at the end of 27 for the 28 bills.
So, look, I guess just probably for just me, then how, I can understand if we were late in starting, but we would need the total number for the year before we'd be able to take that off of that.
No, we could take off whatever's been collected at the time we're calculating the bills.
Okay.
So if you know, I don't foresee a problem even if it goes to a referendum. I don't foresee a problem getting the October 2 date to start collecting in January.
The start collecting doesn't. Yeah, so then it'd be the end if going out at the time of those tax bills or the assessment bills. So that's what I was questioning.
Yeah.
So which would be the end. So therefore, we could even collect. So then, say we did that up to November and say this is what we have in, that's what will come off.
Yeah, you could draw a line at whatever date.
So then those extra 2 months would possibly go into the next year.
Right. It stays in the fund.
Okay.
And the process is, you know, they collect, they send it to us into a designated fund.
But the important thing for the public to realize that even if this passes, there won't be relief till 28, essentially, because we had people asking this year why there wasn't relief.
Right.
Correct.
So that's the point I'm trying to make, is just so people realize that.
Yeah, and so I'm clear is, I mean, this can offset all of the owner-occupied, not just the county levy.
This is a reduction in the county levy of owner-occupied.
So it won't.
We don't address the schools. We don't address
100%,
municipalities.
Then it just goes to ag. It doesn't go to the school.
The offset here is strictly for the county portion, the county levy on owner-occupied structures.
And
the school has a separate levy on owner-occupied and everybody else. Theirs varies a little bit. Commercial has, or cities have a levy.
And then
those aren't being affected by this, just the county levy.
Sorry, Commissioner Weiser. If it goes over that 100% of the county portion of owner-occupied, does it goes to commercial and ag, but does it one take
proportionally?
Precedent? Oh, it's proportional. So it's equally. So equally, okay. That. What you were going to say, Chris?
It waterfalls down to the other classification.
So equally, it's not one takes precedence over the other after that. Okay.
Okay, so since it does, since it does not impact city and school district owner-occupied levies, its impact is not going to be near as significant as perhaps a lot of people thought, because the county portion of your tax bill, if you live in town, I think is about 25%. So, like, even if we took that high number of 56,
Correct.
no one is going to be saving thousands of dollars.
So it'd be a
You might be saving a few
If
hundred.
you have a big old house like you, maybe. But
Right.
So if it's 25%, it'd be 6% of the total bill, essentially. If,
Yeah,
if it's 25% that you pay, and it's a 25% impact, essentially.
You'd save a couple $100.
And you're, of course, paying money in just to make
Right.
that savings, because you're going to pay a half-cent sales tax on everything you buy in the county.
Right.
And what the word I'm hearing is rural counties aren't anticipating implementing this. It's just their own residents. They don't get, tourist money. They don't get outside money.
Well,
so
that makes perfect sense to me. I mean, frankly, if we didn't have the rally, this would be a much tougher decision for me. But the problem that I look at this is, during the rally, we have to add a ton of staff. We spend a bunch of money, and we have no way to recover those costs from the people, the cost causers. And this gives us an opportunity to pick up some of that money from people coming from all over the world, causing the cost to offset, even if it's only a couple $100 a house, because my guess is every household in this county is paying a couple $100 a house just for us to pay for the extra cost of the rally.
You know what? I think you're absolutely correct. And Gary and I met last week with the Sheriff's Department, and we were going over their budget for the coming year. And they estimate just the overtime cost for the rally is going to be $260,000. That's not their regular time, which again points out, and they pointed out again, the need for the county to look at an event tax or something, because they said that was just a small portion of their overall costs. And again, as far as collecting during the rally, unless the Department of Revenue has agents on the field, it's almost immaterial, because, the agents leave after they have put in 40 hours, generally on Thursday, because the State Department of Revenue does not consider it's a cost benefit to pay their agents overtime. And no one else, no other law enforcement official or county or city official can act on their behalf. You have to be a sworn revenue agent. So, since you look kind of surprised, Chris, I will tell a story. Last year, ran into 2 revenue agents. Again, what is your bond for a food vendor this year? And they said $500. Okay. So $500, what is that? A couple thousand, maybe. They sell a hot dog for $20. $500 is not a lot of sales tax to collect within the city of Sturgis. Now, if at the end of the week that food vendor says, I didn't sell more than, oh God, help me figure that out real quick in my head. It was hardly anything. They will naturally come back and give the state the added money that it should have collected. There's not a vendor, I believe, that comes to Sturgis that would come if their sales only produced $500 in sales tax. They couldn't pay for their rent. So,
okay, is there any more questions, comments?
My pet peeve.
The only one thing I'd follow up is we talk about the sheriff's office, you talk about the overtime, we also hire temporary people, we also pay indigent defense for people arrested
Oh,
in the
yeah.
rally. There's a lot of costs that the county has over the years for the rally, and I kind of want to just get that on the record so people understand. Not a real pro-tax guy, but this tax, I think, for the people in Meade County will allow us to at least catch some of these cost causers to pay at least some of it. And even doing this, I mean, the rally's not going to, still not going to cover itself, but it's something.
I mean, it's really not a revenue to the county. This is an offset to the owner-occupied tax.
Yeah,
so
it's
the inconvenience tax for the people that live here.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions, comments, and/or action on this item?
resolution approving first reading. Is that what
We'd have to,
a motion to approve first read, and then a motion to set second read.
that'd be,
I'll make a motion to approve this first reading of ordinance 60 of grocery.
I'll second.
motion and second to approve first reading of ordinance 60, the county gross receipts tax ordinance. Any discussion on that motion? Is that with the change that I asked for?
No.
Or are you going to wait until revenue looks that over?
You can't make a change during the first reading, I think, anyway. You have to make it during the second.
That's the purpose of the second read.
Okay, I guess we've done it before.
Yeah.
But anyway, is there any discussion to that motion? The motion's, that's fine, that's your motion. So is there any discussion to that motion?
Yes. I have not had one person, and I hear from a lot of people, one person give me their opinion on this tax. I really would hope that, at least for the second reading, we get some input, and it would be great if the Pioneer didn't put this story behind its firewall. So
they're a for-profit industry.
I know they're for-profit. I just had to ask that if at all possible because I really would like input on this.
I tell you, I've talked to a bunch of people. I'm bringing it up, and when I explain the taxes and the situation Meade County faces with the rally, I've not had anybody say it's a bad idea once they understand it.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. If it was not, let me finish my statement, please. If it was not for the rally, I wouldn't even be considering this.
Let's vote on the motion, then we can discuss the plan to get the word out next. So, motion second on the floor to pass the first reading of Meade County Ordinance 60, County Gross Receipts Tax. Any more discussion to the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. The motion carries.
Make a motion to set second reading on July 14th at 10 o'clock.
Do I have a second? Set the second reading. Motion's on second on the floor to set the second reading for July 14th at 10 a.m. Any discussion to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And yes, I think it is important.
Thanks, Ken, and if you get any feedback from DOR on any of the stuff we talked about, if you could share it out.
Yeah, I'll run, particularly the first sentence I'll run by Gary, then run it by DOR, and then get it out to all commissioners on a blind email.
My basic concern is it's not a revenue.
Yeah,
and that's
understood.
And I think
it's just a matter of what's the rewording. I think it's just to flip the sentence around a little bit.
Technically, legally, it's a revenue. It's just replacement revenue.
But it's not. It's okay.
I agree with him. It's not a revenue because we're not getting any more money than we already would have.
Revenue.
But it's not
just getting it from a different source.
That's
revenue.
But it's not revenue to Meade County. It's revenue to the residents because they're taking it off their tax. We can argue this. This going to be okay. Sound like I'm included, sounding like my children at this point in time. So let's skip. And yeah, it is.
You're just practicing for the legislature, right?
Right. It's important. I don't disagree. This is important, and I've talked to several people. The rally is a big item with this, but and it wouldn't probably be as attractive if we didn't have the rally. But nonetheless, it is important. I agree. I wish more people was here. I fully expected more people to be here for this, because this is usually when you talk taxes, you fill the room. So hopefully we can get some more people for a second reading. Let's move down to consent.
Make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
Motion second on the floor to approve the consent calendar. Any discussion to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do we have a motion to go into executive session? Yeah, we have some personnel, legal.
Make a motion to go into
Contractual.
executive session for purposes of legal consultation personnel.
Second.
Motion is second to go into executive session for legal, contractual, and personnel. Any discussion to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
remember what Troy said about how long it would be.
I'm going to declare us out of executive session at approximately 11:50, and I think we've completed our business and completed the agenda. I'll declare us adjourned. Thank you.